Hello, Rob here. Now, in this video, we're going to look at how to set up master pages. Master pages are standard templates that you use for the pages in your magazine, so you don't have to redesign it every time. You can just drag and drop them onto your pages to have a standard page setup. As you can see, all four of my pages here have got the same layout. I don't want to have the same layouts. I want to have a separate cover layout and a separate layout for the editor's letter page. So I'm going to go from properties and I'm going to go on pages. Now you can see my actual pages down here, but these are going to be the templates I want. Now, a parent is essentially going to be our double page spread layout, our parent for that. So we need to create a new parent for the front cover. So I'm going to right click in here, new parent. I'm going to call that cover parent. I'm going to change the number of pages to 1. Right, I've now got a cover parent that looks like this. Right, I want to edit this, so I'm going to go to layout, margins and columns. Now, I've measured the margins on my front page and they're 3mm. So I'm going to click on this little chain, make all the settings the same, and I'm going to knock them down to 3mm. I'm also going to get rid of the columns. Now, you could keep these columns in here and work on the assumption that everything in that column is where you're going to put your front cover lines. Everything in that column is where you're going to put your cover lines. You could do it like that. I'm not going to. I'm going to make it one column. Gutters and everything can stay the same. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, in here, I can set up standard templates. This is my front cover after all. Now, I want to leave a bit of room at the top for putting like the names of some bands and stuff. So I'm going to drag a guideline down, and I'm going to drag it down to, let's say, 10mm. So that gap is where my band name is going to go. I'm going to drag it on another one to, let's say, 11mm. Zoom in on this a little bit. And this is where I'm going to put my masthead. So I'm going to draw a text box and give it a name. I don't know, like, I don't know, Mayhem. No, I'm going to put that in caps. Rock magazine. And I'm going to select all that. I'm going to go over to properties and I'm going to give it font. I'm going to use this. Nah, that's not what it's called. What's it called? Dr. Glitch. Bang. Going to change it to that. I'm going to make it right across the top of the page. Right, a bit high up. Let's move it down. I'm going to use the nudge buttons. There we go. Make your boxes as small as you can get away with. Right, Control 0, full page. Now that is going to appear at the top of every issue. Right, so when I go on the page and I go, that's what it looks like. It's on there, you can see it. Right. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to drag out a guide to 70mm. That is my left third. Your main cover lines are going to go down the side here. That leaves you room for your picture. All right. So this is going to be standard every month. I'm going to have like a banner along the top here with band names in it. That's going to be my logo. I can change the color of that to whatever I want. And I'm going to drag that down onto there. As you can now see, if I double click on that, that's my layout for that page. Right? It's going to be standard. Right? I can't change this on here. Right? Because it's standard. But I can go onto the cover parent and I can make that any color I want. Right? I don't know. Let's make it red. I don't know, whatever. And it automatically changes on here. Right? But it's a standard layout. Okay? So you could put all sorts of different things on there that you want to be standard. Right? Like it could be the dates or the price. So, I mean, you know, a standard thing you could put on here will be the price. Let's have that back down to, let's have a little text box. We'll have the price coming in here, shall we? There we go. And I'm going to call this, I don't know, what would a magazine cost nowadays? Let's call it £6. We'll call it US. Let's call it, I don't know, $8. I don't know what it costs in America. Right. Let's call it $6.99 because, you know, sounds better. We'll call it $8.99 US. But we're going to have, I don't know, let's say properties. Let's call it Arial Black. And there you go, nice, same width as the M. Yep, lovely. Right, that's going to be in there every month, or to bi-monthly, whatever it says in the brief. Right, so when we go on to pages, look, it's always on there. Yeah, so that's what you want to be doing. You want to be setting up that, and remember, but these aren't your pages. These are your pages. These are your templates. Right? You want to change the the double page spread and the editor's page the same. I mean, one thing you can do, for example, you can go on here and let's say you want, you're going to have your folios. Well, let's start with them, right? As we can see, that is 10 millimeters, right? So we're going to put, let's say that there. Let's pull it all the way over to there. And we're going to go to properties. We're going to go to our Dr. Glitch because we want it to match the front cover. And we're going to call it, caps lock on, it is Mayhem. Right? That's standard now. Right? Page numbers will be different. Right? Obviously. What we're going to do before we do anything though is going to right click and we're going to go to text frame options, which is Control B, and we're going to make the spacing center. Okay, that's better. Right, and then we'll put tab in there. I'll put a couple of tabs in there. No, I won't. So one tab in there, and we'll put, like, say, www.mayhem.com. Yeah, let's put a few more tabs in there. Let's make that box wider. Put it all the way across the bottom. Why not? Right, and that will appear on every page now. Right, but you want the opposite on the other side. Right, so they need to be the other way around. Maybe you don't want that on every page. Maybe we just want Mayhem. So I'm going to press Alt, duplicate that over there. Going to get rid of that bit. Get rid of those tabs. And then I'm going to left justify that end. There we go. And now I've got that on every page. Right. So they should be on there, look. Yeah, so that's my double page spread. Right. And that's my standard. Now anything else I want to put on here, I put on the pages, not on the templates. This is just for things that appear on every page. Right. Again, you could copy that, I suppose. No, it's already appeared on there, it's fine. Right. But what I want is another parent as well. So I'm going to go new parent, and I'm going to call that C, and we'll call that editors. Oops, caps lock still on. Editors letter parent, one page. Then I'm going to go back up to my layout, and for this one I want 2 columns. Right, so I've got margins and columns, knock it down to 2. You can have as many columns you like, it's up to you. Now let's make it 3. Right, leave the margins the same. Okay, let's go to the A parent. copy that. C, Control C. Paste that onto there. Move that down there, so that's the same now. And then I'm going to drag that down onto there. Right? Now remember, these are templates. They are not your pages. These are your pages. Right? Anything else really you want to be putting on there goes on here, unless it's things like barcodes. You can put barcodes and stuff on here. Right? That kind of thing. But the rest of the design goes on the pages, not the parents.